So I got to start my day here with a little bit of eggs made in the pan and some cheese that I got at the little shop there where they warned me about the bears, and that kept me up all night. Here you get to see a glorious tent takedown, of which I think in about the middle of it I started to get pretty tired and just kind of sat there for a while. That's what is a low night's worth of sleep will do for you. But it was a great stop overall, having electricity here and allowing for things to recharge and charge up and be ready for the next day were great. And then we're going to get in the car here and take a little trip to Idaho to check that one off the list, where I think I'll talk to you a little bit about what our plans are for the day. All in all, though, really nice stop. Interesting people around that little gazebo because there's a tent camp in each one. Good morning! How's everybody doing today? And welcome to episode 6 of Beetle Trek. Cold night last night, although heating blanket came in clutch. It was one of the ones that you can plug into a cigarette lighter, but luckily our power pack has that ability. So it's nice and warm in the tent. Interesting story though. It does start to rain because condensation between the two temperature differences, being warmer inside, colder outside, causes condensation, especially up towards the top of the tent. So I was like, why is it raining? Is it actually raining out? Should I have put up my rain fly? No, it was literally just the condensation. But not a bad night. It was, the bear thing definitely wasn't in the back of my mind. I did not sleep very long. I got about 4 hours of sleep or so, and then I just laid in bed for another 3 or so hours, and then I grabbed a shower. But today, we are in Idaho. It gave us a very small indicator, which it just said, this highway is part of blah, 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 Idaho. I'm like, oh, all right, so we're in. We were only 3 miles away, so we have checked off our 7th state off the list so far here on day 6, and we are going to go see something pretty cool today. I've been trying to do that each time. There is definitely a lot of neat stuff to see. Today we are going to go to see Old Faithful in Yellowstone. I'm going to be turning around here because I've checked off Idaho and it is not the direction of which we're going, but I'm going to flip it around. Maybe this camera is slightly more steady. I kind of flipped the orientation on it. Not my desired, hey, let's like shoot the roof and all that. But if the camera's a little more steady, it's probably worthwhile. Anyway, so we're going to turn around because that sign definitely says Idaho. So we are here. We have checked this off. And then we're going to go see Old Faithful. And then it's another long ride today. We're going to try to make it to Colorado to try to bridge some of the gap between this southern portion and the northern portion of these 13 states. 6 more to go though. We are 7 done in 6 days, and I'm, like I said, most likely, you guys probably heard in the last video, I'm going to take a day in a hotel after this night in Colorado, just to, like, I'll get there, camp, do that, and then taking 1 day off from the trip, regroup, reset, and hopefully get 2 episodes pushed up to YouTube, release 1, and then plan the release for the next one in a few days after that. So that's the plan, and we'll get rolling here. By the way, take up and take down was very interesting, and I left the dash cam roll for it mainly out of mistake. I don't know how it happened. My camera shut off last night in the end of the last episode. I figured, fine, let's start with dash cam recording the takedown of me sitting there for 5 minutes and wrestling with a tent in the bag. Anyway, we'll see you at Old Faithful. So this is the rest of that drive there after flipping around with the car and checking Idaho off the list. And then we went and grabbed some gas. Gas right outside of the park in Yellowstone is pretty darn expensive, and there's not a lot of options until you get there and you get in line like we're about to do. A little bit of wash on the windshield and good to go. So last episode we passed through Yellowstone, but it wasn't the park, I guess, because today we are doing that, and we have to pay our admission fee. Most expensive gas I've got on this trip was just at that last gas station. $4.29 a gallon for regular. That's 30 cents more than I paid at any stop. It's crazy, but I knew I was going to get gouged because of being close to the park here, but you know they're buying their gas the same as everybody else, so that gas station is making a huge profit. Oh, these gas prices, incredible. Anyway, put in some Berryman B12. See that stuff used all the time on Vice Grip Garage, so figured, why not? Let's tune up in a bottle into the car and see how she runs. I only got 6 gallons though, because at those prices, they can bite me. You know, interesting about the Berryman B12, never bought that before. It had this little ring. The hole's like maybe like that, and like I think Kenny Pickett would have a hard time getting his finger in there to pull that tap. Like, who do you think you're selling that to? Like, who has fingers that small? Or is everybody just grabbing the pliers and ripping it up? Well, I didn't have the multi-tool sitting in the car, so I had to struggle to try to grip it. But Berryman B12, if you're listening, I hope your product's great. I hope it maybe gives us a couple more miles per gallon, but make that pull tab so that guys like normal size, let alone my size, can just reach in there and pull it and use it. Jeez, it's not gold. Don't make it that difficult. It's like man-proofed. Anyway, gonna be waiting a while, and people are angry. People are beeping, but we'll see you in there. So the entrance to the park here, a little bit of stop and go, more stop than go, unfortunately, as we went along through this. Nice guy at the gate there, able to get through. They hand you a map, ask, if you want to do any re-entries or multiple days or anything like that. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I will put it out there. Folks, please do not get out to try to pet the bison or take a dip in one of these steaming pools. They might look really neat and colorful, but it seems like every year or every other year there's somebody that decides they're going to go and take a little bath, and that bath scalds them alive and they're skin and bones. But you see here, there's some of the pools. There's a great little pull-off spot of which I try to get into. That's what the slowdown is here on the road. I was like, let me try to see if I can park, and no, there was not a single parking spot, so got in and out of there pretty quickly, and just headed for what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Old Faithful, see that big geyser erupt, and park and get back and hit the road again. All right, here we are, Old Faithful. Not ready for the eruption yet, but we'll be ready when we are. While Old Faithful might be pretty faithful in giving you eruptions about every hour or so, it wasn't faithful to letting you know exactly when this thing was going to go off. I recorded and stopped recording, I can't even tell you how many times during this, and well, you might be able to tell about how many times. As you can see, we're cycling through a different clips here of when it did or did not go during this time frame. But once it got rolling, it was pretty cool to see, and I was really happy to be able to share that with everybody. And it was a large group of people. People really do wait around for this in a large circle, and none of this video actually captures that circle that kind of really goes all the way around Old Faithful here. But we're going to let it do its eruption. I'm not going to go and talk during that part. At first I wondered, why did I leave this part of the clip in? And then I remembered, above the fourth car there, left to right, you can see kind of the scale of the steam flying up into the air well above those trees. So I was like, that's right. That's why I left it here. This is why you don't wait for 6 months to edit something, folks. All right, so Saul faithful. The people complaining that it was taking too long was insane. I think I'm going to most likely edit a lot of that out, but if I don't, maybe you'll hear a little bit. But it was worth the wait. It was really cool to see. I'd suggest it, certainly if you're out here. One of the things I think with Yellowstone is you could spend, well, they give you a 7-day pass. You could probably spend 7 days here. I think there's tons and tons of stuff to do. I have to leave some of this to do. I know my wife is dying to come here, and at least I showed you guys something that was really cool, and I saw something that I wanted to see, but there's so much more to see. We tried to pull off to see some of the prismatic pools and stuff like that. Couldn't even get in. People were looping to try to find a parking spot. I don't have that sort of time. We gotta make some time on the way to getting south here. Again, goal is Colorado. We'll see how it goes. It's 11:35. I'm at this fun point of, if you're in Yellowstone, don't count on having cell reception. Also, count on some of the roads being absolutely terrible. Those are some of those big bumps there. They put up a nice sign that says bump. What it should say is non-existent road, because that's what it is. It's a non-existent road. It's just a chunk of asphalt missing, like from probably washouts or something. But anyway, we're going to start trucking along here. I am going to need fuel at some point because I didn't fully fuel up at that $4.30 a gallon way back when. That's all fine, whatever. As long as we have enough to get out. I'm hoping I'm heading the right way, because I, just like probably most of you, count on GPS directions to get us where we need to be. I did see a sign for the south entrance, which to me says that it would be in the south, where you would enter and probably exit. So that's where I'm headed. And hopefully, as we get closer to civilization out here, I'll be able to get some cell reception and then try to figure this out. I have not booked a place to stay for the night yet, just because I didn't know, A, how long this would take, B, how far I can get, and I don't know, I just didn't do it. So there's your C. We're getting on the road here. Oh, here's a piece of rough road, which again means there is no road. Yep, all right. Through that, whew, boy, does this car need a wash. And we'll pick up with you either at a rest stop or, who knows, maybe our final destination, but I'm pretty sure I'll be talking to you guys again. One of the big things I remember about this time driving through Yellowstone was the sheer amount of washouts and construction they had. It must have been a pretty tough time for them to get through, and it took a lot longer than you would think it would take to get through this part. All right, just a quick pullover stop here. So the route had us actually going through Grand Tetons National Park. So there we are. Pretty cool, super gorgeous drive. This does break it up a little bit. There's been a lot of traffic. Not traffic, it's construction, slow down. It's taking a long time. If I would make it to Denver, ETA right now is 9 o'clock, no stops. Let's see how far we can go. All right, back on the road. So if you remember earlier, I said that I didn't actually fill up all the way, only got about 6 gallons of gas. Mistake one. Then after getting out of the park, the first gas station I saw, the gas prices were even higher than they were entering into the park, and I didn't get fuel again. Mistake number 2. So one of the things I can tell you is, as cool as it is to see a lot of this wide open country and these wide open spaces, the only way you do that is without having civilization around. So when you see a gas stop and the gas prices are high, that should be an indicator, not that you shouldn't get gas, but that you absolutely should. So anytime you're going to take a long trip like this, keep that in mind. We're about to enter into another state, so I'll talk to you from the car there. Well, Colorado didn't light their sign, so we are in Colorado. We are 3,148 miles into the trip. This area of the road was so dark. I don't know if you can quite tell, but there's definitely no lights along either side of this highway here, and it was literally just really the lights of the cars around you. I remember being kind of, a little tired by the time I got to this KOA campgrounds at Fort Collins, Colorado. And I checked in really late, and I had a hard time. I can't even find this reservation at this point. All right, so 2 nights ago, when I was taking out the bed, the case that it came in tore by the strap handle as I was trying to pull it out of the back of the car. Let's see. Let's find where that is. Obviously not that one. That would be too easy. Yeah, right here. So I don't care about this holding the bed, but it also, you use it to inflate the bed as well too. And I counted last night, it took me 40 breaths to blow that thing up. About 4 or 5 of these, and it's done. So we're going to test out the T-Rex tape and see if that makes my job any easier tonight, because 40 breaths is not something I feel like doing after all that driving today. Let's see about how big we need for the first piece. I'm going to try to go inside and outside with it. If I can, I'm going to leave a little gap so that the tape will stick to the tape on the other side. Not a huge gap, just a little one. It's just about perfect. Of course, it ripped in 2 directions. Perfect, that's what I want to hear. So I want it to stick to the tape when I put the tape on the inside. Just a little gap. Already I feel like Gorilla Tape is better than this stuff. I mean, it's more expensive, that doesn't always make it better, but in this case I feel like it is. Gorilla Tape, my gosh, you get this stuff on your finger, it can rip off your skin. I don't feel that way about T-Rex tape. But, you know what, I've been wrong plenty of times. Just, I never admit it to my wife. All right. Yeah, this is already not fully holding. Looks like I might be doing 40 breaths tonight into the mattress. All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Go a little bit longer on this side. The extra. I have somewhere between little to zero confidence in this working. Corners are scary. It doesn't help that it ripped it at an awkward spot. I'm going to try to get this every opportunity to work. I don't want it to not work. I don't want to blow that mattress up. Care about the strap. Put a couple extra pieces on here as well. Bit of extra. All right. Let's see if it'll do any work for me. Capture some air. It might have captured a little bit of air. Whether or not the pressure will hold, though. Let me try to do this. That is the question. Might have been something. Only has to hold till it gets to this point. Hey, might be somewhat pleasantly surprised. I have a video of the guy doing this, and he gets it all through there. That is not something I've been able to do yet. It's still full of summer. I think it's holding. Yeah, it's holding. Once this gets close, I'll blow it up the last little bit so it's not a ton of pressure on here. But any amount that this does is better than me just trying to blow this thing up with my mouth. So that's going to be it for the day. Tomorrow, my plan is to chart some of the southern course, try to figure out how all that's going to work exactly. Not exactly, but how, if I was to draw it up and say this is the way I want it to go, that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. And then I'm going to drive a few hours. I'll probably just add the driving time to the following episode, but I will be picking up a hotel in two big pieces. One, just a day of not being in a tent and running, driving 8 hours, 10 hours, or even 3 or 4 hours. And to actually upload the first 2 days of the trip so you guys can watch it. It's just been impossible to have enough hours in the day to do what I would like to do with that and just do all the things that I need to do to keep moving. Today we started off the day with breakfast, which was great, and that was it. Didn't grab any lunch or anything like that, and the shop didn't have much in it when I got here, and I got here at 8:59 and they closed at 9, so I had just enough time to get checked in. Definitely had doubts about driving as much as I did today, as late as I did, especially those last back roads, which I'll probably talk about in voiceover already. But I don't know, so far I feel very good about it. I think the trip has been great. I do miss home a bit. Certainly would love to see the old wife and kids. But rushing this just to get home isn't going to help anybody either. I want good content. People are excited. I'm excited. I want to bring you guys the best content that I can. Make this trip enjoyable by seeing some cool stuff. I have some great plans for some of the southern end of this trip. Yeah, that's pretty much, this thing's just about full. So this worked out way better than I thought it was doing while I was doing it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the night. So we'll sign off. As always, protect the pet population. Have your animals spayed or neutered. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.